Okay, so today we're going to be factoring trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So remember, when we're factoring trinomials, our goal is to eventually end up with a binomial times a binomial. That's two terms times something else with two terms. And the way I want to show you in this video is the box method. So what we need to do first is step one. First, we're going to be factoring this one as an example. 7x squared minus 26x minus 8. Step one is to draw a 2 by 2 box. Now in the first little box right here, we want to write our first term, 7x squared. In the bottom right box, write your third term, or the constant, negative 8. So remember, this trinomial is consisting of some variables and some coefficients, and that's where the a, b, and c are coming from. The a, b, and c are just numbers. A is 7, b is negative 26, c is negative 8. So there's some little things we can do with those numbers in order to help us factor this. So first things first is, let's go ahead and multiply a times c. Okay, in this case, that would be doing 7 times negative 8. Okay, that gives you negative 56, excuse me. Now what we're going to do is take that negative 56, and we want to think about the factors of negative 56 that you can add together to get b. So the factors of negative 56 have to add together in order to get negative 26. That's our b value in this problem. Well, the factors that I'm coming up with in order to do that would be 2 and negative 28. And I'll put that in parentheses. All right, 2 plus negative 28 is negative 26. And just to check, 2 times negative 28 is negative 56. So those are two good factors. So going back to our box, let's put in these two factors, except let's put an x after them. So negative 28x and positive 2x. All right, so the last step is now we're going to be taking the GCF of every single row in column. And what this is going to do is it's going to give us our two binomials. So let's move, I like to start straight down. So let's find the GCF of 7x squared and 2x. Well, there's no GCF of the numbers, it's just a 1. But the GCF of the variables would be just an x. Now let's find the GCF of negative 28x and negative 8. Now notice a really important thing right here, and I'll write this down here, important. If both terms are negative, then the GCF is negative. All right, I hope it could show up. All right, so negative 28x and negative 8, I am getting a GCF of negative 4. Cool. Now, a lot of times I actually like to write it over here for the GCF of the rows, but I'm going to write it over here because I accidentally left a little bit of extra space here. So I'm finding the GCF now of 7x squared and negative 28x. All right, I have 7x as my GCF. The GCF of the numbers would be 7, and the GCF of the variables is just an x. And finally, the last GCF of just 2x and a negative 8, I'm getting a regular old 2. We'll take a look at your GCFs. That gives us our two binomials. Our answer is 7x plus 2 and x minus 4. Well, let's make sure we always check our answer, so let's FOIL this out. 7x times x is 7x squared. 7x times negative 4, that's negative 28x. 2 times x plus 2x. Finally, 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8. This should end up being exactly the same as what we started with over here. So I'm getting 7x squared minus 26x minus 8, which is what we started with. So our answer is the two binomials right here, 7x squared or 7x plus 2, and then times x minus 4. And that is the box method.